Hello and welcome back to 101 Ways to Beat Depression. I'm Matt, and what I like to call, back with a quick analogy on what I like to describe as building your mental house. So I mentioned it in terms of a toolkit, which was quite easily digestible. So you're building these habits or techniques that resonate for you, that work for you, getting rid of the ones that don't work, that don't feel right, that don't fit your life situation, or any of the things that just generally mean it isn't working. We don't want it. We don't want to work against ourselves. We want to work with ourselves. So we keep the ones that are working, that we feel good doing. We turn them into habits and we keep them. And I've said that in a toolbox. Now I kind of wanted to also just try and describe it as a mental house. I kind of like that idea. The kind of idea that what you want to be doing is building your own home for your sanity, I guess. And it's going to be a bespoke home. It's going to be one that's tailor-made by you, that's completely perfect how you want it. Because remember, we're all different. Your mental health is different. What you need is different. So this house you're building is going to be completely you. So you need to build this house in the way that suits you and your needs, because you're going to live in it forever. You want to build this house and you want to use it forever. You don't want to leave, it's yours. You want to feel comfortable being in this house. So what are we doing? Well, the habits and techniques that you're building, these good habits, these good techniques that you're using to improve your life and your mental health, like I said, we want to keep them. Those are the building blocks. We get rid of the ones that aren't working. We've done that experiment, didn't work. The ones that are working, we go, okay, cool. There's my brick. I'm going to lay that on the foundation of my house. It's there. One brick down. Okay, great. What else works for me? Okay, this. Another one. Another one. Another one. And you start stacking. You start building this structure, this new life for yourself, which again translates into a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of handling your mental health. You're building this house, this structure that is, like I said, unique to you, which is really important because only you know what you need. So only you can build this house. So, like I said, you're building these bricks, you're building it by stacking, and it's becoming this newly formed structure, this building, this house, this designer home, which you feel comfortable with, which feels right. When you look at it, you think, I can live in that. And I do think it's kind of helpful if you're doing this, and it's an analogy, you don't have to follow it. You can just say, oh, it's in my toolkit if you want, that's a lot easier. But some of us like a bit more visual. Some of us like to think of it more abstract. So if you like it, then there's a good way of thinking about it. And I do encourage you to actually just get a piece of paper, draw a line on the bottom, and then when you have something that works, draw a little brick. Write in what it is. Write in the thing that's working for you and you're going to keep. That thing that's now part of the mental health toolkit or structure or lifestyle that you want, that works. And just keep stacking them. Build that house, draw the house, that'd be really fun. And you could have that on your wall to just remind you, okay, these are the things I do. These are the things that I do now. These are the things that work for me. And you can build this bespoke house in visual form, which is fun. You don't have to. You can just imagine it. Or like I said, think of it as a toolkit. Perfectly reasonable. But like I said, some people might like the idea, the fun idea. You build a house, why not? I think that's kind of cool. Now when you're building this house, you may find that the only things working at the start might be quite superficial. They might be quite basic. That might be all you can do. We've talked about capability. What are you capable of doing right now? And that's fine. You want strong foundations. Sometimes the most superficial things, the ones that are more external than internal, they still help you, they still improve your life, they still make you feel happier, and that's good. That's absolutely fine. They don't have to be the super deep work right now. Sometimes you're not ready for that. Lay your good, solid foundations, of the building, of the house, and then you can build upon it, can't you? You can build upon it, right? And eventually, those tougher things will be stacked on top of these easier things, because you will get stronger, you will get more aligned with who you are, you'll understand yourself better, you'll become more capable. So don't worry if down the line you are trying things that I recommend and the ones that only work are the superficial things, because sometimes you just need those little 1%. Sometimes you need that foundation. This is the thing where I say, I think it's not totally right for anyone to really just tell you exactly what to do, because you might not be able to do it. You don't want to jump up to, I've used this analogy before, I don't want you doing a bicep curl of 25 kilograms right off the bat, because that's really seriously heavy and it's not going to help you. You want to do just enough, that's a challenge, just enough to push you a little bit, and it's within your capability. So do not worry if at the start a lot of things aren't working, but the things that are, lay your foundations, and trust me, the things that weren't working will eventually work, because you will have changed. And this is a process, this is a progression. You want to think in progression. You want to think as a journey. You're developing, you're growing, you're improving. And you should be happy when you lay those foundations, when you start building that, because it will be things that resonate, and it will mean that you can rely on these things, and they will be easy for you to do. They will become actually part of your life to the point you don't even think about them. And that's crazy, right? And of course, we're not really talking about the specifics of the habits, but if you really want to know what things I recommend, then you can get the ebook. And obviously, if you're watching this channel and you've got that ebook, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say things, habits, techniques. You'll know what kind of things we're talking about, which will make a lot more sense with this, because, you know, being a bit abstract because we've not actually got to the things I recommend you try yet. But you can kind of just think of it as positive things that will help my mental health generally. You know, so if you just apply that to everything we're saying, you're trying things that on paper have a positive, a net positive overall will benefit you, and you're deciding what's working and what's not. And what's working, those are the bricks, you lay them down, you build this structure, you build this system, and it will benefit you for life, because this is your system. And that's the whole point of everything we're doing. It's all about you, it's all about figuring you out, and you making decisions and building something that works for you by you, not me. I'm just guiding. So, a bit long-winded, that's the analogy, fun one. Like I said, you can draw it, but hopefully that makes sense about what we're doing. It's a progression, we're building on things, we're not jumping ahead, we're being reflective, we're making sure everything works for us and suits us. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you could draw a picture in the comments, that'd be really cool. Maybe that's something YouTube will introduce at some point. You know, you can draw me a house, that'd be amazing. Unfortunately, you probably can't. So just let me know what you think. Let me know if that kind of analogy helps you, or if you just prefer to think of a toolkit and just a system generally. That's fine. Our brains work in different ways. Some are abstract, some more logical. Like I said, we're all different, and that's cool. If you do want the ebook, as I did mention, it kind of gives context to everything I'm saying, because then you have certain habits and techniques you can look at and go, okay, yeah, cool, I get this, I see how it applies to the system. Then my ebook is available on my website, and that's in the description. And of course, if you want more like one-to-one kind of coaching, if you want to have accountability, if you want to kind of go and deep dive into these things with me directly, there is coaching there. It's all up to you. So really thankful that you've been watching this video. Please stick around and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.